After working with over 100 people in the dropshipping field, I have noticed that the results are very directly impacted by how productive people are and how quick they get shit done. So in this video, I will explain to you how to get shit done and how to do it properly and as time efficient as possible. All right. So everybody has those days where you're like super hyped and super motivated and you just crush your to-do list, you do everything really well. And then you have days where you just like watch YouTube videos, do bullshit on Instagram, or don't do anything properly. And if you actually think what the difference in between those days are, you're gonna notice that in a lot of the cases, you don't know exactly specifically what you need to do. All right. In those days where you're not productive, you don't have very specific, clear tasks. So the very first thing I would tell you here is to actually make very detailed and specific to-do lists with very, very concrete and actionable things which you can actually do. And by the way, a quick disclaimer, I don't want to replicate any like self-help or motivational or productivity boosts YouTube channels. I'm just talking about my experience because me personally, I actually was very unproductive when I got started. And then over the time, it got better and better and better. And now I kind of see which things are most important and I only get those done really quick. And the rest, it's not that big of a deal if you slack on those. So coming back to my point, your to-do lists have to be extremely specific in the beginning. All right. So what you need to do is, for example, if you say on your to-do list, I need to do product research, that's super broad. Okay. You need to systemize what product research actually means. The first thing is going to be scrolling around wherever you actually want to do product research. For example, you can say, all right, I want to do 20 minutes of product research on this platform. So making 20 minutes of product research on this one platform will be the first level of everything. The second level, which will be even better, is if you would say, all right, I want to find X amounts of products today on this platform, okay? And the third level, which would be the best, is if you actually already have a set of criteria in place and you say, all right, today I want to find X amount of products with X amount of criteria, okay? So for example, I want to find 10 products which fit 5 criteria which I've set for myself. Okay, and those criteria, first of all, obviously they need to be good and shouldn't be just like problem solving, wow effect, and a lot of AliExpress orders. It should actually be proper criteria. And if you have that, then you're already going to specifically know what you need to do. All right, I need to go to this site and I'm first going to scroll and just copy paste the products to another sheet. Okay, so then you structure it even deeper. How do you actually go about finding those 10 products? And it's going to be scrolling around, find things which just catch your attention and then just copy paste them out somewhere else, all right? And from there, from all the products which you already found, which might be potentially good, from there, you're actually going to check from all the specific criteria. For example, if the margin would be one criteria, you shouldn't check every single time you're scrolling. You find a product and you then have to look at AliExpress. You have to ask your supplier. You should not do all of that all one after another. All right. So first you just scroll, then you just research all the margins for all the products, and then you do the next thing. And for example, if 5 out of 10 products which you have found actually fit all 5 criteria, you're going to put them into a sheet and then you have to find another 10 to select the top 5. All right. And that's how you should actually write things down. It's really important to make sure that you exactly understand when you do it, what to specifically do. Because if you're just going to sit there and say, all right, I need to do product research, you're going to slack off. You don't have a very specific thing to do and it's not going to work out. And these micro steps are so important every single time you're doing anything. If you build a store, you have to understand, all right, today I need to make a logo, I need to make the product page, and I need to write the description, I need to find the pictures, I need to create an upsell, I need to do this. And basically you're going to have very specific things, which are tiny tasks, which are pretty easy to do. However, if you do a lot of to-do lists, and if you check all of those points on your to-do list, you're going to feel so much more motivated because every single time you have like a tiny task which you do and then you do the next thing and you do the next thing, you're just going to feel better, and that kind of gets you into the flow. And then after doing like 5 things, after like 2 hours or 1 hour or so, you're going to feel hyped and you actually will want to do more. So having tiny points on the to-do list will be really beneficial. However, if you have your to-do list done, it's very easy to get caught in tiny details. So before you create all of your to-do lists, you actually need to understand what is the most important. And whenever you ask that question to yourself, you have to ask yourself, what is the most money-making activity? If you already have a logo, for example, changing it and making it perfect will not be the most money-making activity. However, you do need a logo to get started. So if you don't have a logo, it will be beneficial to create one. All right, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be done. And mostly if you just do 1 to 3 things per day, that should be enough to actually make you the most amount of money. All the rest is just an extra, all right? So those 3 things, you need to actually write yourself down before you go to sleep the day before, all right? So you have to think, all right, what are the most important things I need to do tomorrow? And if I would only do those 3 things, only that, I would already have a productive day. And if you have this general direction, it's going to be so much easier to actually create your good to-do list. And also you need to understand that it's always the hardest to get the ball rolling. So there are basically 2 different things. The first one is short-term momentum, where you actually see, all right, today you either are very productive or you're super unproductive, and you start being productive and then everything just gets better and better and better. And then there's also long-term momentum, where you see that, okay, where you see that you were productive the last 5 days, and the 6th day, it's going to be way much easier to actually be productive again. If you go to the gym for a month, it's going to be super easy to go to the month, like the first day of the 2nd month. Like, it's just going to be natural. And here it's going to be the same. So you need to understand that making the first steps is going to be the hardest, but it's going to be the most important and most beneficial. So if you actually do those 3 points which you wrote down the day before for like a month, every single day, and you actually execute them the next day, you will see such a clear impact on your work. The chances of you doing it after that are also very, very high, all right? If you actually write down and do the things you need to do, at least just 3 things every single day, it's gonna make a crazy impact. However, the main thing is to understand what the priorities are. Because if your 3 points are bullshit, you're not going to be doing anything, all right? You're going to feel very productive. However, there's a huge difference between feeling productive and actually being productive. However, every single time you try to be a perfectionist, you're just procrastinating. And I've heard this quote and it really stuck to me, which is basically, perfectionism is productive procrastination. And I cannot agree to this more, because it's literally the case. If you have done the core of whatever it is, go to the next thing, go to the next thing and get started, all right? Don't perfect the one thing and make it perfect. Just do it and that's it. So again, to recap, the main 2 things you should take from this is, for short-term productivity, you need small to-do lists and a good environment. Also, for example, if you cannot focus at home, then go to a hotel lobby where you can just order a coffee and work for the whole day. Go to a cafe, get an office, whatever it is, just go somewhere else where you're actually going to be productive and have a very detailed and structured to-do list. And for long-term productivity, you need to have a broad overview of what your tasks are, and then determine those for the next days, and then make a good to-do list and have this short-term momentum, which is going to keep building this long-term momentum. And the problem here is most people actually know what they have to do, however, they don't do it. So if you just take something from this video, do those 2 things. However, I hope at least like 10% of you guys will take this advice seriously, and you will write down like the 3 bullet points and also make very structured to-do lists for at least the next couple of weeks just to test it out. So that was it for the video. And if you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you have any questions to me personally, you can write me on Instagram. It's going to be linked somewhere here. Or just schedule a free consultation session with me personally. There's going to be a link below this video, and you just click on there, and we're going to find out if we're actually a good fit. And if we both think we are, we're just going to get started with a one-on-one mentoring program. All right? It's going to be completely one-on-one. I'm going to guide you through everything you need to do from A to Z. And yeah, basically click the link below and see you there.